Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today I want to talk to you about mastering practice mode. That's right, I know you guys have all noticed this mode, and some people are enjoying it more than others. I think this is one of the best things that has come into this game for a while. Practice mode, okay? It's this button here. You go into the Alliance War screen. Here I'm on our flight deck. And you can see here, this is the defenses in one of our flight decks. And you can just go in at any time whenever you're not in war and just practice over and over and over again. And I got to say, we take this for granted in this game that we have stuff like this, but other games don't have it. I mean, I will tell you, there's a lot of people in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes who are complaining right now because they don't have a sandbox mode. They can't PvP against their friends. They can't do RTA. They can't do Blitz. And they can't do practice mode in war. And so when they unlock a new team and they're excited to test it out, they have to go to Arena or something because they have no way to practice. I think this is a good thing for the game. But I want to caution you about some things regarding practice mode. One thing that happens is, I will tell you, so my alliance has had access to practice mode for a little longer than yours because we were in the test server and we've been practicing on it for, we were able to use practice mode during that test era when we were doing that for some weeks. And one thing that I noticed that's really important is you do not get your war buffs here. So in other words, if you're going to go up against the Doc Ock team here, they get certain war abilities and bonuses like plus 40 focus, let's just say, or whatever it may be, or health or healing. But what they don't get is the barracks bonuses, the medbay bonuses, and more importantly, they do not get the new war ready bonuses. In other words, from like cargo bay, where your units are getting so much more on defense. I don't know if you've noticed this, but the reason these values are getting so insane on defense is because your characters are getting buffed more than ever before. So when you go here, you see how it says 801? And look, when we go inside, it's down to 647. They strip away the med bay. They strip away the barracks. They strip away war ready. So when you go here and you're like, okay, I'm going to use my X-Men. This is a punch down. You may end up being in a situation where you try certain things and they work in practice mode, but they don't end up not working in war. So I'll give you an example. Against Axemen, what you want to do is kill the lowest health enemy first. So you could be like, oh, Vulture's lowest health. I'm just going to kill him on turn one. And you may ultimately, because your bishop's big and their Vulture's small, you can get away with that, right? I'm going to tell you right now that if you are doing this in a regular war, that's not going to happen because that Vulture is going to be so much bigger due to med bay, barracks, cargo bay, all of those new buffs that are coming on. And I will tell you guys, my alliance at times had gotten led astray when we were making decisions based on practice mode. I would tell people, let's test this out in practice mode, see if a counter works. And then when you actually go in game, what ends up happening in a real war, you find out the counter doesn't work the way you thought. And that is something that I want everyone to be aware of because I don't want you to make learn from my mistakes, okay? Don't make the same mistake I did and try a counter in practice mode and assume that it works. The other thing that I want you to pay attention to is that another thing, of course, that practice mode doesn't at all show you is room bonuses. So some teams are going to perform way worse when there's something like, security or reactor that is interacting. So in other words, if your team spawns with, defense down or spawns with disrupted, that can impact the entire way your team works, right? So for example, if you are playing with an X-Force team, let's put this at auto. If you're playing with an X-Force team and you're using reactor, they're not going to get some of their evades in the beginning, right? If you're playing with, if you're going up against a Kestrel team and your entire team spawns with defense down, that's going to be a problem. I guess all I'm saying here is that you need to be thoughtful about practice mode and don't use it as an end-all be-all. It's good practice. It's good to learn how these fights go. It's good to run them a bunch of times and learn the fights. But don't think that this is how it's going to play out. You have to be mindful about how they work in war. But I will say this. There is an element here that this practice mode has changed the game forever. And here's what I mean. It's actually, this is inspired by a conversation I had with Bad Dreams of Baby Yoda, a player I respect a great deal. One point he was making is that in war, it used to be, until practice mode came along, that you didn't have a chance to see how your team did against Heroes for Hire. You had to practice in a real war over and over again, and you might get losses in a real war until you perfected the fight. Now that's not the case. And I think this will change the game forever. And it will change it in a sense that I don't think war is going to be at all kind of something that you have to have a lot of experience to do well in. I feel like, a lot of times newer players, they don't really focus on war early on. And it's something later in the game as you build out your roster you focus on. But it takes a lot of experience to get a feel for how much you can punch up, how much you can punch down, what teams counter what, and how you play the orders. Now you can get all of that just by practicing over and over and over again. It reminds me of what happened to a game I used to play for many years, World of Warcraft. When I was a new player back in vanilla when the game launched, we had no idea how raids worked. We had no idea what abilities were better, what gear was better. And those raids were really challenging. It seemed very tough to master Molten Core, Blackwing Lair, Naxxramas, all those early raids. Now when you go back to them, they're super easy because we have all of these tools that analyze exactly what's better and tell you exactly what gear is better and optimize your damage. Well, this is a step in that direction. Now you can practice over and over and know what the optimal counters are. You could try it 100 times and see how many times out of 100 this team counters that team. So Marvel Strike Force has changed forever. I think it's changed for the better, but something has definitely been lost along the way. All right, guys, if you like this video, smash that like button. Subscribe to this channel. If you got comments, questions, you feel differently, put them in the link below. Put them down in the comments below or go to my Discord. That's linked below. You can also check out my Twitch stream. That is linked below as well.